Oh, good afternoon. Good evening, in fact. Yes, it's another Saturday Night Reaver, the Armiger edition. Because yesterday I got my pre-order Armiger Knights for Adeptus Titanicus, which is quite interesting. I got the Helverin Warglaive ones and the one of the Morax Mechanicus Armigers. So they are still in boxes. So I thought it'd be interesting to get going and basically building them, just going through as normal hobby hangout chat type thing on a Saturday night. And I hope that everybody that is joining today, this evening, is all fine and groovy. I'm actually, you can probably tell my voice isn't as as probably as high pitched as I normally am. I've got a bit of a cold for one. I also had my COVID booster the other day, which kind of put me on my ass for a little bit. And yeah, so I am alive. I've got the heating on because that's going to be important because it's a bit chilly out. So, right, there you go. That's one box of the Armiger Warglaives Helverins. So, let's get straight in. There's no point in mucking about. Oh, what have we got? Right, so box. So that's your Armiger Helverins Warglaives. Lots of little pieces. Pretty straightforward. But I'm not liking the look of the stabilizers there. Because they're going to be teeny tiny. So, yeah, so in the box you get 3 of the little dudes. You only get 2 Warglaives and 1 Helverin. So some legs. So yeah, so there's the Reaper chain blade, the thermal lance, and autocannon, Helverin autocannon. Oh wow, it's like teeny tiny melters. It's like the cutest thing ever. Tiny melters, they're so small. And they're so small. Look at that. Look at it. Look, will you look at it? It's tiny. Oh my goodness. Let's get this junk out of the way. Hold on. Right. So yeah, they're on a 25mm base. So 3 of them. Shoulder pads and stabilizers. Yeah. More. Yeah, so 3 lots of them. There's no difference between them and the Helverin ones. Hey, Reaver kill on a Saturday Night Reaver as well. We have a Reaver in the house. Hello, buddy. Yeah. Did you actually have some of these, or was you just posting up stuff in the group? Right. So yeah, so there's the little Warglaive dudes. So yeah, they're not the toughest of little things. Yeah, they're dying on a 4 plus on if you're hitting them with like anything strength 10 or above with critical hits. the only saving grace, I suppose, because these are meant to be quite large units. So between 3 to 9 is a banner of Armigers. But yes, it's still really strange because there's no in-depth rules for these little things yet. It's gonna, because if you're gonna have a lance and if they adhere, because Gary mentioned it, my mate Mr. Reaver mentioned it in our chat earlier on, which I don't think I responded to. Sorry, mate. Bit busy. But yeah, it was with the lance rules for knights. So those of you that know about knights is that a lance is made up of 3 banners of knights. Each banner has to have knights of the same class within, and they've got to be equipped the same. So I can show you, because I've also got my Questoris. So, well, some of them anyway. So House Divine, House Caesarean, because I've been doing a repaint on the Caesarean guys. So obviously in a box of knights we get one of each variety. So you get the Paladin, you get the Errant, and you get, well, I made a Crusader. No, not a Crusader. A Warden, basically. So the Avengers and Cheng Doodads. Right, so in a box you get them. So to make a minimum size lance, which is 3 knights makes up a banner, minimum size banner. So you need to buy 3 boxes of Questoris Knights to make a minimum size lance. So it's 9 models in total. And then you have 3 units of them, 3 Wardens, 3 Errant, and 3 Paladin. And they're all the same per banner. So if that's going to apply with these guys, it's going to be quite expensive, isn't it, really? Because you don't get optional weapons, you only get what you're given. So you're going to be having to buy, well, it's going to cost a lot, basically, because you're only getting one. You need to buy 9 packs so you can have a full banner of Helverins. And that's just a little bit, yeah. So I got them. I'm also getting more for Christmas because there's not a lot of other things that I want for Christmas. Hello, Felix. Hi, mate. Welcome. You're early as well. You're not normally here for at least an hour. So yeah, it's they're cute, but they're expensive because you're looking at £32 for a pack of 3. Let's move that over there a bit. Which, yes, they are very highly detailed. There's no, you can't deny it that they've got really nice detail there. Haven't, see, let's move. There's no printing lines on this one in particular. So, not that I've heard much about there being problems with that, but the detail on them, look at that detail. That is what you're paying for. So it's working out about £10.67 per Armiger. But yeah, I don't know if there's going to be different rules because of, I just don't know. The Morax, because you get 2 of one type and then 1 of a different types, but they operate differently to Helverins and Warglaives. It's just the weapon attachment, whereas Helverins, there's a noticeable difference between them. So yeah, these are going to be interesting to say the least, because I would have preferred them in plastic, especially because of the size of the units. To have, well, not even a proper lance, because if you have to stick Helverins and Warglaives separately in banners, you're going to be losing a lot of nights with your purchase, so it's going to cost a lot of money to do a full lance of Armigers. So unless you're just going to have these as optional extras to stick out and run around with your Questorus, that's going to be the sort of the crux of the situation with these. Right, let's get these knights out of the way again. So many knights around here. But anyway, how is everybody? I hope you're all fine and dandy. As I said, it's a bit chilly over here, and I'm trying to keep myself as warm as possible. Yeah, that's going to be a pig. Right. Let's stick with keep it simple. Let's stick with legs and bodies first. Right. So yeah, so there's straightforward little nubs in there to go onto the bottom of the actual knight body. The head is so tiny head, so small. Yeah, I woke up early, been doing night shifts all month. Yeah, you're always working night shifts, dude. Over in your part of the world, obviously. I got a shift to be removed on the leg cables. Off to get a micro drill. Yeah. Oh, look, so small. You have to be like a surgeon with this. This is like, if you haven't got very good manual dexterity, this is gonna be painful for you. So I'm just trying to see what I'm actually doing. They're so, yeah, you know, I'm trying to show you guys, but at the same time, I'm trying to see what I'm actually doing with these things. Right, legs. Sorry, I'm gonna, pardon my French, not mucking about with these anymore. Yeah, night shift. Yeah, this is the night shift. Welcome. The party time that is Saturday Night Reaver. Yeah, I'm also, because of because of the booster jab, it is advisable that you don't drink. So I'm not actually on the beer tonight, which I know that some of you will find quite unusual, because I am normally on the beer quite a lot. Right. Drill. There's a drill. Thank you. Gary wasn't lying. There's a drill my finger. There you go. Drill through. So yeah, it's they're very standard stances. Could you do something with them? Yes, you could. Am I? Possibly not. Yeah, I'm gonna need a smaller drill bit. Jesus, actually, he says. Right, here's another drill. The man is going to offer 2 drill Lee, they will call me. Hey, Kirill. I hope your visit to the medical facility went well. No problemos. And I hope you're keeping safe and sound, dude. Kirill was actually, when I went up to Warhammer World recently in October, because it's basically where he lives practically, he did come down to see the gathering of the mini Titans, and he was very kind enough to help out and help tidy up when we had to put things away. Hello there, Furies. Evening to you. And Rob, hello. How am I finding these little knights, you ask? Very little. They are cute as hell. But as Gary Reaver Kill was mentioning, getting rid of shim on the leg cables. It's a drill bit time, so it's getting those little things out. But the actual, I say, I can't fault the model. The model itself, the pieces are so finely detailed. They're just gorgeous. They really are. It's just, my last model was a War Master Iconoclast. And downsizing to this, it's scale 2 versus scale 11. No, scale 12, sorry. There's 10 different scales between. But yeah, it's quite it's intimidating, but in reverse. Can you have like a mini intimidation? Oh, you left a shim on yours. Ah, yeah, yeah. Well, to be fair, you probably can do. It's so small, but you know, where I post up, you'd always get people say, "Oh, you don't drill the barrels," and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's force of habit, and sometimes you just got to do it for an easy life, really. All right, that's what gluing it. So yeah, so I know a couple of you are hobbying tonight, but what are you hobbying on? Are you doing Titans? Are you doing Fantasy AOS? Are you doing Heresy? Are you doing 40k, Xenos, whatever? What are you up to tonight? Thank you for joining me. That's the important thing. Because this is only as good as the people that are here. So I've picked up some new 18 Nights in there. Sonic Washing, yes. I'm gonna go over these because if I tried I haven't got a Sonic Washer. Well, I have, but I haven't got one that works. So if I was going to try and wash these, I would lose big pieces easily. So I'm just going to assemble them, and then I'm going to varnish them, and then I'm going to prime them. So not the best way of doing things, but for my own peace of mind is what I'm going to go with on this particular little bugger. Now this is where we see me glue myself to various parts of model kits. So that actually wasn't too bad, actually. He says. Now the actual hip joints aren't snug. There was some movement in that little beast. So I would be a little bit careful with doing that sort of stuff, because it's going to cause you problems. So I'm going to let that set a little bit better before progressing any further. Oh, bugger, yeah, I've just noticed. Yeah, I can see why you would leave some of the shim on this. But I'm going to have to do it because the old OCD. Yeah, no, I would probably, yeah. you glued yourself to the leg stabilizer. I apologise for the loud coughing there, but as I mentioned, I'm not in the best of conditions at the moment. But laughter does help cure all ills. I'm so going to glue myself some point. Oh dear. He says, oh, that Look at that. That's a nice strut. That is proper pimp strut, or slut strut if you want. Whatever you want to call it, really. But that is a nice bit of strut. Oh, you can't stand up. Sorry. I'll try not to laugh because obviously I laugh, I cough. Hey, Sophus. Hello, dude. Welcome to this evening's. You're going to need a few of those next year. That's the thing. It's like, I saw them and I thought, because the problem I've got, I think we've all got resin crack addictions, as well as plastic crack addictions. I got myself, as I say, 2 boxes of Armiger war glaives and the Hellrings, and 1 of the Morax. And then thinking about it, I thought, oh, hold on. So my girlfriend was asking, well, what do you want for Christmas? So I just thought, all right, I'll do reverse. 2 Morax and 1 Hellring. So I'm going to go a full banner, or obviously 3 small banners of Morax, and 3 banners or 1 big banner of Helverins. And then it's deciding who's going to have what. So the Helverines Warglaives, I'm going to go with my House Veroni, purely based on the fact of the Helverines and Warglaives that were featured in Mortis that were from House Veroni, and that I have House Veroni. So they are basically going to be my largest house out of all my loyalists. The Morax I'm going to put with, I'm really fancying House Caesarian, because I think they're going to look really cool in the yellow and black. And I've just got this feeling that it'll be like Wally. Stop laughing. Stop it. You're making myself laugh. But yes. Kirill's doing some Deathcore Krieg. Death Riders. I love the riders. The Forge World models on horses were just... I would just do a squad of them just as a little sorbet project, because I just think they're awesome. The sculpts on them are just amazing. And they just got that character, so much character to the actual model. Best way. Did manage to do some transfers on my war, but yeah, I saw those pictures. That are looking, your Warby is looking absolutely gorgeous, mate. Did you actually print off your own decals for them, didn't you? Because I saw there was a picture as I flicked through that you had like a sheet with lots of writing on there, which did you do some jiggery pokery on the computer and just print them off? Yeah, it's actually, I did miss it, and it's saying on the YouTube studio we have excellent connection, so that is always good. Because when I was having the problems because of the internet, that the bandwidth just was not there, so it just kept on stuttering and pitting out and just wouldn't do anything, and it wouldn't actually allow me to actually live stream. So and I think having a little bit of a break as well, because there was a lot of stuff going on in that time anyway. So like we had Salute happened, and then there was times when I had family commitments, so I couldn't actually do a Saturday night anyway. But yeah, after last week, I just realised how much I've missed you guys. So yeah, so being back on is definitely worthwhile. So thank you for joining us, as everyone that comes here, my beloved Princeps, fellow Magos, and hobbyists. It's all good. And I'll tell you what, I'm really missing not being able to drink beer. It's even worse is I've got some in the fridge I put in the other night, forgetting that I was having injections. Robinson Squash, the drink of champions. That's not an advertisement. That's not a paid advertisement. That was me doing a mock one. Ignore, I just drink it. I'm addicted to it. Right. So those legs are looking fine. Now, what I was going to do, I was going to glue them onto the base anyway. I'm going to experiment with my basing sand, because normally, as you mostly know, when I do my little basing sand, my little mix, going with anything too lumpy and coarse would probably have quite a detrimental effect on this little chap. So we'll get some dollops glue in the little toes. Little toesies. I'll plonk him there. I'll leave that one to dry and I'll start on the next one. So oh, hello Ryan. Good morning. Ryan, where in the world are you? But welcome anyway. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, that's the thing with the internet and, like, you know, social media, Twitter and all that sort of thing, where obviously, and Instagram, Facebook and all that, where I know a lot of you guys are from. It brings the community together so well, but on a social, like a live social problem, it's like time zones are the bane of hobby. There's like several people that I know that are over in the States that you know, you chat to, have a laugh with, you know, share models and stuff. But like they're 5 hours behind, so it's like it's not like this is their afternoon. So Colorado, oh, is that Central Time as well? So you're about 6 hours behind. What's the time over there, Ryan? Because what's the time? Well, it's almost 8:30 here in the PM in the UK. So that's going to be about 2:30. Is that about right? Oh, right. Performing surgery. Homemade transfers are the best way. It opens up options for enact detail ideas. I do a lot of my own. Oh, right, cool. I know, like, there's like quite a few like scumbag decals, I think. That's it. Oh, who's the oh, so you're 7 hours behind Mountain Time. Yeah. Whew. Well, I hope you're having a lovely Saturday afternoon, and welcome, as I said. We are very friendly here. There's a good bunch of hobbyists here as well, so you can find most of these guys on Instagram, and like Sophus Penance is that's his name on Instagram. If you like big 40k Titans and the occasional small one as well, especially of Legio Fortidus, he's your man. Rob Walters down there, he's Icon 74, I as in Icon 74. Legio Solaria, big Titans and small Titans, and he has the most awesome base work as well, because it's like, I like to think of it as like that scene from Doctor No when Honey Rider is coming out of the sea. Most of his Titans have that sort of walking out the sea feel to it, and the way he does water is just brilliant, and it just looks so cool. I am most envious of his bases, because I just do basic urban bases because I believe in Titan death. Kirill, Kirill, you're under Kirill, aren't you, on Instagram? Is it just Kirill? I can't remember. Or is it Kirill's Path? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not running all right. So what was wrong with the tilt shields on your thing? Put name tags in place with the tilt shield. You're working out where they go, right? Yeah, I get you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so if you want to put your tag in of what you are on Twitter or thing, put it in the chat, and everyone gets some new followers and follow each other, and hopefully we'll find some interesting stuff to look at and enjoy. Oh yeah, the claws. Oh yeah, that's I'm not looking forward to that, mate. So the legs are alright so far. I haven't glued myself, which I'm surprised that I haven't glued myself yet, which is yeah, he says. We got a naughty dog going on because he's being told off for barking. I added a name tag one side and folder of maker's plate on the other side. But that's where. Right, yeah. That's the thing. You were probably in the zone, mate. So that's the thing. Sometimes you just get into that sort of headspace where you're just working, getting on and doing, and the next minute you realise, oh bugger, I should have put something else there. So it's easily done, and I know I've done it plenty of times. I'm sure half the people in the chat have probably done the same thing, where you just keep on going and making something awesome, not realising that a part has to go there. Right. You know what? It's weird using 25mm bases. I can't remember the last model I used a 25mm base on, which just feels so peculiar. So used to 32 now. You see look, that's actually really, really good. I just stuck my finger. A bit of random super glue on my finger and my thumb, so it was like stuck like that. I thought, oh, there's a bit of resistance there. Yes. Alright, final legs. Let's drill these bits out and get that flash off. And kind of, I don't know. Where is it? Theories. Did you, when you done the little stabilizer bits, had you put the legs, attached the legs already, or did you do that after attachment? Because I'm just thinking I'm just wondering which way would probably be easier to do actually. Because you like with most kits, you know that when you are, because those stabilizers have to go into this little bit there. So that's what we got to try and get. Yeah, I can see why you probably stuck yourself. No, wrong one. Operating with 2 drill bits. Actually, I'll use the bigger one on that one. Yeah, that's nice. He says. Clear. Oh, come on. Get the knife out. Get that in. Yeah, I completely forgot. I'm sure that I can either move them or leave them off. Yeah, stabilizers come separate, mate. So that's the problem with highly detailed kits like this. So there are your stabilizers. So they've got to go in the back. You dropped. Oh, I did that the other day, Felix. When I was doing the Iconoclast, dropped one of the shield bits, and I thought, no. no. It was, yeah, and I was really worried because I heard it fall. I thought I saw where it bounced, and it was nowhere to be seen. Bit of leakage here, so that's why I was sticking myself. So that I always, when building Titans, like Reavers, Warhounds, whatever, soon as I get to put in the carapace onto a model, I'm straight away sticking shields on, because I would leave them on the sprue and lose them. I haven't done that, but I'd rather not take that chance, if you know what I mean. Because losing a shield, void shield generators, you can't replace them. I don't think I've seen anybody actually make, like, 3D print any or anything. Although there's actually something interesting I saw on Instagram earlier on, is that looks like Battle Bling are experimenting with recreating their AT stuff in 40k scale. Because I saw their sort of twin Gatling weapon that they've got for Reavers next to a bigger version of itself. So that is going to be interesting for the bigger hobbyists, bigger Titans that are out there. Just sort of Rob. Yeah, poor Felix. I dropped two, found one, and then Rob says I dropped one earlier, but it was a 28mm one, so it was easy to find. Rub it in, Rob. I was just checking because I put the I've got a little radiator down by my side here. I was thinking, because it's cold. I've only got a base layer on and a t-shirt on. I can't. My favourite hoodie. I cannot find it anywhere. I've put it down somewhere and it's disappeared, and I'm sad and at a loss. We all have our favourite items of clothing. I have a favourite hoodie, and it's out there somewhere in the wilds. Right, surgery time. There you go. No mucking about. I was going to try and take that off with a blade, but I'd rather just get the mass off and then just scratch the rest off. Now you've got to be careful, because you can probably just see there's actually that is actually part. It's not shim. It's actually part of it. So that's going to be fun. I'm not even going to bother trying to clear that out. It's just not worth the aggro. I'll probably end up ruining that. Although the autocannon one, that's definitely up for removal. And I'll leave that on the actual sprue, just make it easier for myself. There you go. See, nice and easy. No. Call me coward, but I'm not going down that route. That is craziness. That way lies madness. Ooh. So that top bit is gone. So that's the other weapons sorted out. Right, let's have a look at these. Right, back to the first one. So he's glued in. Get rid of that crap. Yeah. Stabilizer. I seriously think that you know how like the hobby community goes, oh, we want to have these, we want to have that. You know, I remember there was a big push for people mentioning about Armigers once upon a time, and they've made them now, and I think we're gluttons for punishment. We really are. We really make things worse for ourselves. These are so fiddly. Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm gonna, yeah. This is going to. Oh, just realised I missed a cable there. Get that sorted out. I have that. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Check out if you haven't followed Icon74, who is Rob. You got to go through his Instagram because he's got this Armiger Squire for his 40k nights, and it's like carrying this huge freaking sword, like a scabbard and a sword in it. It's like a little Armiger going Rah! For like a Cerastus or something. it's proper overkill. Oh, Jesus. Right. There you go. Making use of the gates. Oh, Jesus. Found it. It's okay. It's okay, people. Whew. Oh, and now I'm stuck to my finger. How do Armigers perform in game? Alright. I've already committed on the Volkite shim. Yeah, now in Titan walks situations, the best person to speak to about Armigers would have been Leiden, because they done the year before 2018. Sorry, they done a walk and they had Armigers. They done some sort of like little mock rules for them, and Leiden got inundated by swarms of Armigers, and he absolutely hates them. There was like all over him, like a proper sort of swarming of little maniacal, mechanical killing machines. I swear he wakes up in the middle of the night in cold sweats. But yeah, they're it is horde mode without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, they're not as tough as well, even Cerastus. Sorry, Questorus even. Yeah. Well, those two are on. Yeah. Yeah, they are. If you've got enough of them, because that's the thing. If you've got a 12, or sorry, 9 of these, although I have been reading on a couple of hobby groups where they would they've been saying have smaller groups so you can actually hide them, so you can't be seen. So you can't be seen, you can't be shot, I believe. And then have them come storming out and swarming from behind and stuff. Because that's where those thermal lances are still strength 8. So they're still going to hurt, shooting you from behind at strength 10 from the little fellas. And you know, if they're up close and personal within 2 inches behind you, strength 10 is going to really sting. So yeah, they've got the potential to be nasty. On open battlefields, they're not going to last long. But that's the whole thing. Titan Zerg attack. With AT, you've got to have a board with scenery, because otherwise you're just going to sit there like warlords will just say, "No, I'm standing here, I'm doing nothing," sort of thing, and just shoot. When you've got a nice bit of scenery and some good LOS blocking scenery, that's when the game becomes more tactical. You've got to plan your approach, your position, your manoeuvring, your management, even, because, like, you know, you've got to judge what your opponent's going to be doing and think, like, well, do I move? Do I stay put? Do I, you know, do orders? You know, all those sort of little things, because a building is in the way. You know, a building is a big, well, it is a big thing. It can be small, but it's something that will really make a game more interesting by having a few good sized pieces, because you don't want to be just sitting back. It's no fun sitting there just, you know, launching shots at each other. You want to get involved and move and shoot, and close combat as well. And scenery is the friend of the smaller dudes, because, as I say, most people, like, as soon as you mention knights, you go, "Oh, volcano cannon." The bigger knights are quite survivable with volcano cannons. I've had a knight hit 2 volcano cannon shots and just took standard damage. A devastating hit. So that's just 2 pips. Still standing. The warhounds around it didn't fare too well, but, you know, that's the thing. You know, it's all down to dice roll. Yes, potentially, yes, you can really smeg knights with volcano cannons regularly, but you got to hit. You can scatter, or you might roll 1s, and that will seriously wipe the smile off someone's face if they're rolling 1s on their volcano hits. And then next turn you're charging them. And that's really going to make a big difference. And knights are tough little monkeys, like Cerastus, and even, like, obviously the Porphyrions. In one game, well, admittedly, I've had a bit of both, really. In one game, I got very lucky with a maximal fire plasma in a squadron, hitting a squadron of 4 knights. This is before the nerf. And then so it's doing a base of 11 strength because of the squadron. You get the +1 to hit, +1 armor, sorry, a strength thingy, armor roll. And I rolled 3 6s and a 5. So it was 3 crits, so 3 dead, and then, because it resets after every time you remove one, it resets the chain. So the last one only had 2 health on, but you got rid of 3 Porphyrions in 1 volley. But by the same token, in another game, I was shooting at 2, Porphyrions, with a Reaver with a volcano cannon and a volcano cannon equipped warlord, and I killed one after about the 3rd turn. You know, it just was not hitting. I was scattering off, or I was rolling crap and just doing minimal damage or something. You know, so I know they get a lot of sort of like hate or sort of like dispersions cast upon them and their survivability, but knights can be very nasty. But like anything in game, it's whether or not you get the luck of the roll. and this is an awkward fecker. You grabbed glued my finger. Yeah, so it's all down to that, you know, that little bit of luck in game. But anyone, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's all going wrong. Get in play. No, off my finger. That's it. Right. Ugh. So that's 2 stabilizers done. Oh, shoes. Also, if your opponent shouts your knights that they're not that they are not shooting your titans, yeah. That was a game I had round Martin's house. It was me, Martin versus Matt Wingrove and Simon Winter, and I had 3 Questoris just running up the flank, and I had my Solaria Warlord Artemisia standing there facing off against a Mortis Warlord of Matt's, and Matt had the choice: does he do a first fire order and shoot at my Warlord, or does he move away from the approaching knights, or does he shoot the knights? He opted to move away, so he didn't get the first fire on my Warlord. My Warlord got a first fire on his Warlord, which was handy. You know, helped strip the shields, and the knights basically then charged him. So he was still within range, luckily. But that's the thing, you're giving your opponent something to think about and making those choices. And as Rob said, like, you know, you got to shoot something. Do you shoot that dude? Do you shoot that dude? Or do you move? You know, and you got to make those decisions. And that's what's great about this game is you have to make the tactical decisions in the heat of battle. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it does not. But it's all fun. I don't think I've had a bad game of AT. Admittedly, not had a lot of games over the last year and a half, but when I have played, they've always been enjoyable. Not a lot of sort of like, there was no bad feelings or anything like that. Hello, Enzy. Hello. As you can understand, it is a game it's different from everything else, and yeah, it is more of a chess game, but with 40k values added to it, sort of thing. Because you say you've got to balance several factors per turn. I better have some drinkage. I do apologise on the sound. I'm still going to bitch and moan about the fact that I can't drink beer. The hobby fuel is denied for health and safety reasons. Get in, you little bugger. I'd say I think it's about this point of the evening. I would like to give some TV advice. Recently, I don't know if any of you have seen it yourselves, but on Netflix there's an interesting little cartoon called Arcane, which is based on a computer game called League of Legends. Now, I have no interest in playing League of Legends, but the cartoon is actually really, really good. The story in it is actually really fun. The universes are very interesting, and the characters are pretty cool also. So that's on Netflix. For those who are into music, on Disney, you've got the Peter Jackson production of the Beatles footage from Get Back, their last sort of tour. Well, not even a tour, sorry, it was their last album, and the story behind it. Because at the time they made something like 60 hours of video footage and 150 hours audio, and Peter Jackson's made 3 sort of like movies, like he does with like most things. You know, they all come in threes. So The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. But I watched over the course of the past week this film documentary, whatever it was, off Fly on the Wall thing, and oh my god, it was so fascinating to see, like, you know, these musical legends sitting there, you know, jamming, you know, coming up with the songs, how the songs were constructed and stuff, and just, you know, like Paul McCartney was just like looked as cool as anything. You know, John Lennon was, you know, it's John Lennon, but he was just again so like funny, you know, little jokes here and all that sort of thing. George Harrison with his like sort of ideas of how to sort of change the structure of a song and all that, and obviously Ringo, which I swear, if you do watch it, there's this one bit where he's wearing, I'm sure he's wearing this like red and white polka dot shirt, which is very. It reminds me of, like, you know, like you see pictures of your parents when they were young and wearing something very like, you know, floral, flary. I don't know, but it was like something that my mum would have worn. But yeah, it's such a great, you know, insight to seeing how these guys were working in this, like, it's like a month-long process of creating the album, practicing the songs and all that. Oh, but it's just, yeah, it is really cool. And Rob agrees, Arcane is amazing. Before coming on, I actually watched the 3rd episode, and it was just like, but yes, definitely worth watching. So that's the TV film review for tonight. Right. Little shoulder pads. So what I will do with these, as you can see, I'll cut down here, and then going closer once that's off, like that. So it just gives, as he drops it, so it just gets a bit closer there, and then clean up with the hobby knife. It shows. Let's get all these off. And again, just avoiding getting that very edge of that shoulder pad, because the amount of times you go too close and you just take a tip off, which is never good. It was not fun. Especially when you've ruined a shoulder pad of a model that's, yeah, 11 quid. That's that. That. And oh, that was done. I haven't really noticed much problems with the actual cast on these. They've all been really good, really clean. Oh, well, you drive safely, Felix, and I hope that you get home quicker than 3 hours and it's uneventful. Because you don't want to have an eventful drive home, do you? Right, well, thank you for dropping in, dude, and I'll catch you next week, I'm sure, as long as you're not working. Right. So again, with these Armigers, we have got only 2 melters and 1 little auto stubber. I don't think this stubber doesn't do anything, so it's only if you upgrade to melter guns that actually do anything in game, which is basically each night with a melter gun upgrade can target an enemy within 3 inches and that unit suffers a strength 8 hit. So again, if you've got 9 of them and you get within 3 inches or something, that's 9 strength 8 hits coming through, and especially if you're surrounding it at its feet, because you can probably get 9 of them around a Warlord Titan base, even a Reaver base. That's a lot of hurt going in. Yes, safe journeys. You've got 80 nights to paint. Yes, you've got lots to paint, dude. Yeah, should be around next week. Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you again, dude. Dun dun dun! I'll see you out. Right. So, again, they're so tiny. They really are smidgen. Trying to find something that's it's a bad example, but yeah, it's not even mine. But yeah, tiny, tiny, tiny. Yes. Right. So I would, if you're going to be sticking these on, I'd put the stubber onto the Hilverin and give the 2 melter guns to the Warglaives, just because they're more likely going to get into close combat than a Hilverin is, and that way you can hurt things. Attaching stabilizers before legs go onto the body is easier. There you go. So I did ask that question earlier on to what was their name? Who was it? Fiories. But yeah. And hello, G Stealer. Welcome, dude. And you're about on time because you normally turn up about an hour in, which we are. Bloody hell, we're an hour in already. Right. Weapons. Right. I don't feel that you need to go to, because you can't really position and pose these dudes that much. You've not got that much variation. So I would just keep it simple. And not try to be fancy down and posing it all awesomely. Yeah, honestly, Gary, that Arcane is actually really cool, because I kept on seeing things on Twitter and people saying, "Oh, it has no right to be that good," and you think like, "Oh, well, you know, I think this person's got a good judge on things. I'll give it a go," and I have not been disappointed. It is actually a really good storyline so far, and it's a bit sort of steampunky in a way, and I love steampunk. I did get the urge to actually upload Bioshock Infinite, which was one of my favourite Bioshocks, because it is proper, you know, nice and steampunky. I love all that sort of stuff. Yeah, old time mecha. So where was he going to there? Suppose you can, yeah. Right. Ooh. Yeah, don't want to be doing that. Sticking my fingers to tiny bits of robot mecha construction. That's one small arm. That is teeny tiny. That is devastatingly small. As I said, we are gluttons for punishment. Oh no, don't stick to me, stick to the model. I'm feeling so. I'm holding my breath, trying to stick these bloody things on. just finished season 3 of Lost in Space series. Can't see Phalanx. Cannot see. No, I can't. No, I know what you mean. It's the faceplate, isn't it? Danger, Will Robinson. I did enjoy Lost in Space. It was. I like obviously twisting things around a little bit with like Dr. Smith, and the family unit. There's one tiny badass. Look at me, I'm so badass. I'm teeny tiny badass. So let's. It's so small. Oh dear. That is. Oh, look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look. That is so small. Small, even. Oh, wow. That is bonkers. That is absolute bonkers. Oh. Cute as a button, though. Just definitely put that there. Right. So you do another Hilverine? Another Hilverine. I haven't even done one Hilverine yet. So. Right. Right. So next one. I'll tell you what, this. Whew, it's a lot of stress for such a small model. Let's gentle. Get that out. So I'm just checking on these the heat on this thing because, as I said, I've got a bit of a cold, hence the voice, and I'm just trying to keep warm in a cold office. Because I don't want to be getting pneumonia or anything. Well, with see, again with the old TV shows, anyone been watching Wheel of Time in the chat? Try no spoilers if you have, but just interested who else has been watching it and if you've been enjoying it or you're not that keen on it. Me personally, I'm pleased to see the book series sort of come to the TV. I was saying with Artist Empire stream on Wednesday, it was different, and it has made a few changes to the original story. Some are understandable, others not quite, but you know, that's TV for you. And it is such a big. A bit on the fence, yeah. It's such a big sort of thing to try and get into, because, well, it just is one of those things. There's so much background going on, 14 books, and trying to get that into condensing it down to keep it fresh and interesting and all that sort of thing without dragging things out. It's just, yeah, it's going to be hard, and I think everyone will be comparing it to Game of Thrones, which might be a little bit unfair because I don't think with Game of Thrones, yes, it's got a great background, and obviously it didn't end well. Because how can you finish something when the book series hasn't even finished? And they just sort of, yeah, I don't think they thought things out properly on that side of things. But that's the past. We're in the future. Obviously, I think the big one is when they do the Silmarillion, the Lord of prequel Lord of the Rings sort of thing. Because the amount of money that's been thrown at that, if that doesn't pay off, then yeah, it's not gonna be good. You've been watching the second season of Lock. I haven't got into Lock and Key. Again, because it's a Marvel thing, isn't it? Is it within the MCU, but series wise? And yeah, Witcher. Yeah, that's very soon. Witcher. Again, season. I enjoyed. Yeah, I enjoyed it. There's nothing. What can't you do with toss a coin to your Witcher? Oh, valley of plenty. And I did thoroughly enjoy the Witcher game. Well, Witcher 3 was my first experience, and it's the only experience apart from the TV series that I've had of The Witcher. But I would still play it, because I got all the DLCs for it, and Blood and Wine and all that sort of stuff. But they are so in depth, and when you think about how it was made, I know same studio done Cyberpunk, but I think there's so much more thrown into that than what was expected with Witcher 3. And Witcher 3 was just amazing. Even playing Gwent with random people, traders and all that sort of stuff. A game within a game. And then all your little side quests and stuff. Yeah, it's so much stuff in there. Fairly open. You travel wherever you want within reason. Tossing coins to your Witcher, oh, valley of plenty. Right, that's the 2 Warglaves done. Hilverine with its auto cannons. You have to admit, what is there not to love about auto cannons? Auto cannons are just awesome. I've got a cold, leave me alone. See? Yes, it's not COVID, I checked, okay? It's paranoia for you. Ooh. I wasn't singing either. I had a very interesting singing career, mostly karaoke. First song I ever done at karaoke was Hotel California when I was 16, and I was in a pub because I looked older. I was with my older brother anyway, but yeah, going upstage in front of a whole pub full of people. This is obviously when karaoke first started coming over to the UK. Back then, early 90s. And on a dark desert highway, go wind in my hair. No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that good either. But yeah, I just thought, well, I know the song, like everybody knows the song, and gave it a go, and didn't get laughed off. So that's the main thing. I think everyone was like, you know, those early days of trying to be entertaining. But it doesn't help when you've got an older brother who could actually sing. And he would go up, and he had this look, right? So when Gaza was like cool and not, you know, this is before he went to Lazio and all that sort of stuff, and things started to go downhill. You know, England 1990s Gaza, you know, fit prime of his life sort of thing. So he looked a bit like that. He put an England tracksuit on. He'd look, you go, oh look, it's Gaza. But he also had that sort of Robbie Williams eye thing, you know, like the blue of his eyes would just shine through, and he could sing. And I swear he would go and he'd done like Careless Whisper, right? Sang Careless Whisper, and I swear all the women in the pub were just like, oh, he's got a voice, oh, and all that sort of stuff. It was instantly like, oh my god, how, and like everyone's going, oh, okay, you can sing, it's cool, you know, all right. But yeah, it was just like a fox in a hen house. Oh dear. Yeah. So little guns. Mm. Not happy with that gun position there, so just a little snap reposition. That's better. So that's its Helverine autocannons. Hey Andrew, here just a quick drop in to say good luck with the stream. Lady looks awesome. Definitely needs some Armigers. Yeah, well, they're cute and painfully small, but they are really quite. Yeah, the detail. I am having serious doubts over being able to paint that bloody thing. What do you mean we believe you? What? That you look like Gaza? He could sing? I'm trying to think of what I said to make you doubt me. Oh. And to be fair, he's not been very well either. My older brother, he's actually been in the hospital a couple of times with he had to have a procedure, so it was a bit worrying at times because they thought it was cancerous, but it was caught early, so he's out of that, but he's keeping having to go back in because they're saying like, oh, they thought he had a blood clot or something. So yes, bless him. But he could sing. Right, let's do these little bastard weapons. Stubber. Melt up. Brrr. Brrr. Get that off. Thank you. And hat. Yeah, so this stubber is, it seems, well, it just seems pointless, really. Sorry, I got injected. That was stings. It was like a wasp sting, I swear. Like, I can take needles. I've been injected enough times that I just get blasé about it. But that, I just went, that's not right. So, yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, stubbers. Stubbers on Helverines, seeing as there's no rules for stubbers for these guys. Questoris, there's rules for stubbers, I believe. And you can upgrade them to melters, but these you can only upgrade to the melters. So, but yes, teeny tiny little buggers. Come here, little bugger. Come on. Oh no, it's not. It's not playing. You're not playing. Come on. Oh, you little git. Performing a very delicate operation here. Very, very delicate, he says, as he manoeuvres. Oh, you. Alright, there, no, all dignity's gone. That's it. Damn you. Well, that's going to be easily lost, isn't it, really? Alright, soon. I'll stick myself. Oh, will it go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, get yourself Armigers, they said. Yeah, you'll love them. They'll be fun. Gluttons for punishments, I tell you. Embrace the horror. Yeah, I was also having to just make that little nub a little bit more friendly in order to go into said socket. Right. That's position, gluage. That's it. No, he's glued it. He's he's glued it to the finger. Ah! And now he's glued it to that finger. And now he's glued his fingers to the fingers. Jesus Christ. And now I've just propelled the melter somewhere. I cannot see the melter. That's the stubber. There's the melter. Okay. It's not playing ball. Oh, yes. I wonder how far I can throw one of these things. Oh, Jesus. Now remember, what I'm doing here is showing you what not to do with your Armigers. This is becoming farcical. Right, kind of in position. Yeah, you're shooting someone over that way. Fuck it. Pardon my French. Sorry. So, 2 melters. How long did that melter take? Walked into a GW store today, mentioned 3D printing, and the staff said GW don't make it, so you got to get it from other sources. Brought some Aeronautica Imperialis Nightwings, and the detail is amazing. It is and it's a thing when Forge World do something, generally they do it pretty well. I say like the Praetor models, like that, the Sons of Horus Praetor that's come out, they showed off again. That is just mad, awesome. Even like from like when they brought out Soul Tarvitz, Soul Tarvitz is just awesome model as well. Although I was a little bit disappointed I didn't have like a more funkier base for him. Obviously I got him because Emperor's Children. But yeah, it's you know, when you look at sort of Eidolon, got his big funky base, but again, marketing, they want to make him small and typical. Stubber, no problem. Stubber straight in, as you would expect, really, wouldn't it? You know, nice and straightforward. Right, right. So that's basically one box built. And how long's that taken us so far? What's the time? So yeah, with comical interludes, choking, and conversation, I would say, well, it's been an hour and a half since I started, but obviously I didn't start straight away with these things. So if you call it about an hour, you'd probably even pull it down if he was doing it without talking, just focusing. You'd probably get it down to about 45 minutes, so 15 minutes per dude would be sort of the optimum sort of speed that you'd be going and making these little buggers. But yeah, they are. Let's do a side by side. So if I get one of these out. Actually, I brought a friend along as well. So let's. So I've got no Cerastus with me, so I apologise on that, but. Bring the light. So yeah, that is the heights. It's like scientists when you've got like the microscope. And go, oh yes, look, we're just going to tweak this little cell over here, do some genetic modifying. But yeah, oh, the camera's coming out of focus again. So not even as tall as a paint pot, up to the rim. So as we all know, this is the standard for measuring anything is 1 Citadel paint pot. So Questoris is a paint pot size. That's up to the rim size for that, and that's going to be a paint pot and a half. So a little bit taller than the than that, but yeah, not too far off really. There you go. Stabbed myself with a pin vise. Oh. Yeah. Look at that little bugger. That is the scale. So you go from scale 2, scale 3, Cerastus 4, and the Big Mac Daddy 5. So that's pretty pretty impressive. So I just can't believe how tiny they are. Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. So yeah, that's one box of Armigers done. He says, I am planning, as I said, to do bases on them. Oh, I kind of feel mysterious now. Ooh. Hurrah! He says, I can see what I'm doing now as well, actually. Makes for a nice change. Right, yeah, so as I said, I was going to experiment, well, try out, he says, with my basing sands. So let's get these guys out of the way again. So, where was you? He was over there. So you can go back in your box, or into your slot. So you can see I put all sorts of crap into this pot. Bits of plastic, you know, it all goes into the basing. Oh, there's I have Horus there, see, from a warhound. So, let's go for this. This is dangerous. So very dangerous. Here's a little bit of texture, but you don't want to go too mad with it, because you could seriously lose a lot of detail. Well, you're going to lose detail on the feet anyway, aren't you, really, thinking about it? So let's stick a little. Oh, tweezers, come on. You can come off. I'm going to use the precision stuff in the middle here because that's going to get a little bit harder to get to with that bigger nozzle. So the white stuff in here is, as some of you may or may not know, is bicarbonate soda, and it reacts with super glue and sort of dries it instantly. So it makes like a little sort of cementy, concretey sort of effect. So it's sort of like an activator, but a powdered activator, really. So you don't stick yourself. Well, you can do, but but it just sort of sets off straight away. You can sort of sand it down. You can reapply more to build up layer to give you more texture and density to the actual base. But so you don't want to go, like, I'm not going as heavy-handed as I would do with normal like or Titans even. I've got to play careful because I don't want to get too big a rock, he says. Get a couple, it adds a little bit of interest. Right, just got a nice bit of texture, and that's what we want. A little bit, so when you obviously spray, which I will be doing not tonight. This is purely for building because it's too cold for any of that jazz. Oh, that's gone. So you get to go. No, no. You can volunteer. So what I will do, obviously, after letting that sort of settle and dry properly, give it a bit of a brush off with an old brush just to remove some of the dust, basically. Same again. But this is the easiest way I've ever found of doing basing is with super glue, my sand mix, and bicarbonate soda. Especially with these smaller scale models as well. It's like an interesting bit. So with these rock bits as well, you can always apply more super glue and then get some more of that bicarbonate soda there, just to help lock it in, because you don't want to be like getting that on there and then you dry brush and it just falls off. So you sort of help it to stay put by drowning it Right, so definitely see where you see that little fella. Focus. So yeah, so I'll try and put a little bit of super glue just underneath there, and then get some bicarb under. I'm searching for spice. There we go. So add a little bit more on top. That's it. So that's the basing part done. Oh, sorry about that bit of a noise. That was the lid going back on to the basing material. So let's find a brush. Oh dear. And just get rid of that loose material. Yeah. It's not too bad actually. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that, but luckily it paid off. And then you say you can always add more to it if you wanted to. I might add a little bit more onto that, just on the front there, because that's the first one we done. Okay, it just gets rid of any sort of real loose bits out of the way, because you don't want to be, as I say, when you come to the dry brush part, you don't want to be losing detail really, do you? Feeling maybe a little bit of a right, get some of that on there. Let's add a little rock. Rocks are always fun. If you can grab one. A little bit more of that around there. So you're basically surrounding that little lump with super glue and dig for spice. And then that was basically just ridge up and surround it, because these things can quite easily move through difficult terrain, I believe. So it doesn't matter if it's a bit built up with your sort of rubble. But yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with how they've come on, how they are. Get that lid back on. I've only spilt that once, and that was luckily in a bag. So I was able to salvage most of the sand that spilled out from where I hadn't secured the lid on properly. So Let's tidy this bit out the way. So super glue, super glue, super glue. There you go. One Helverine with its sandy base. It's stubber on the roof. That's actually not a bad little view there. That's actually, you can actually see the detail on it. So that's what you're getting from these kits, is that level of detail, because you can see like there's a little like the wires, pipes and cabling on that little inside bit there, you know, little skulls on the actual drums, at the ammo drums. It's just crazy. There's all little bits on the back here as well, more pipes and stuff running off the back there. Whatever, they just look a little bit disjointed. Don't know if you can see, actually. Focus. There you go. Oh, it's not too shabby. So that bottom part there, there's a just noticed hole. It's an air hole, but I wouldn't have noticed that until looking at it from that position. So it's not obvious, and once that's painted, you're not going to see it anyway. But that is, let's see the face. Oh great, it's raining. Oh great, I've got no coat. Oh, damn you, weather. I didn't notice. So being able to sort of just go over the model with some good light allows you to actually see all those little bits that you wouldn't see, but also the bits that you've missed in your previous. Yeah, that's really, really, really cool. I'm going to say, if you're obviously looking at this on a computer screen, you can probably see so much more than I can, because I've only got a small, it's only a few inches. It's actually sort of life size, but to the actual model on my screen, because I've got so much open here to run the live stream. But yeah, let's blink a little bit. There's no air bubbles in there, so it's not a regular occurrence on the model. It's definitely not a regular fault. So 1 out of 3 ain't bad really. But yeah, say the process, and apart from that one thing, there's nothing wrong with them. Apart from obviously me, my cleanup skills. But you got, there are 2 different heads. So that was the Cyclopean head, which is my favourite on Helverines. The other 2 have got a little snout head like that. There you go. So you've got 1 Cyclop and then 2 snouties. So I would go Cyclop for your. It doesn't really matter really if you're not going to have sort of a Scion leading these guys, because they're all sort of the Armigers are powered by sort of like serfs at the end of the day. You know, higher ranking serfs within the household, but serfs nonetheless, or lesser siblings. Because that was one thing, or half, you know, bastards. You know, that's what you're getting in these is as in hey Toffee Troll, hey dude. You know you're not going to turn these into orc things. Leave them alone. Yeah, in Mortis, where you actually see a squad of Armigers. So basically, it's one banner like this. You've got 2 Warglaives, and you've got one guy going around with the autocannons. So the main their team leader, as such, is a daughter, basically like a half daughter to one of the nobles within the house. So she's in an Armiger because, you know, obviously the whole hierarchy and sort of like noble birth and all that plays into effect with households. Whereas her older brother, or her half brother, who's going around in Cerastus, is a bit of a dick. And they actually have an interesting little thing where I think his name was Craddock, is the older brother, the Cerastus knight for House Veroni, and he has like a neural link to these Armigers. So these 3 Armigers like are his hounds. So the Cerastus is the master. They're his 3 hounds, and he has this neural link, and he can basically get them to do, you know, or inflict pain. If they displease him, he can like send like a electric jolt down that like tweaks the, which is an arsehole thing to do, but that's what they do in 30,000 years or whatever. So that was an interesting little dynamic they have, because obviously in tabletop they don't have anything like that at all. And I think you only have in 40k you have the Preceptor Knight, which is meant to be like the, you know, den mother, to sort of teach the new recruits into the household that are given Armigers. So, oh, those are cute knights. They are the cutest things, I'll be honest with you. Yes, it's like a slaver's leash, which I found for a night house like Veroni, because again, like you always associate House Veroni as being like one of the main noble dudes, but obviously it's like the old knight houses of old, like the feudal knights and their lords, liege lords, like liege collar. There you go. But I think with Armigers, obviously with these young upstarts and like, you know, worthy retainers that are given the opportunity to serve the house in a knight suit of some description, they're given these, and I believe that there was precedent that if they sort of, you know, excelled in their duty, that they could, you know, be elevated into like a full knight suit. So they don't just spend their entire life as a retainer, as in, you know, these Armigers. There is always a chance for advance. It's going to be harder. You're going to have to really, you know, prove yourself in one of these things. But there is always a chance that you can advance, which is nice. especially, especially after what happens. No spoilers in Mortis with the Veroni knights. There's a little sub story going on there, but it is actually quite quite cool, because these little guys were going out into the sort of the Mercury Exultant kill zone, which is we had a north wall, the Mercury wall, which was like the northern flank of the Imperial Palace, which the wall itself was like a mile high, filled with guns, and it is basically where it was the most fortified position. So basically, the traitors didn't attack it or something, but they did send like little scouting parties and stuff and all that sort of stuff. So these guys would go out into the Mercury Exalted kill zone in their little group of threes and go hunt down sort of like rogue servitors and enemy sort of like automata that might be sort of wandering around causing mayhem and, you know, just being pest. But it was nice to actually see these guys in the heresy, because that's the thing, is like when you, like in 40k, when something new comes along and you go, well, we've never seen anything like this mentioned before. Oh, like when the Land Raider Crusader turned up. Oh, what's all this about, sort of thing. But they give it a legitimate good background. You know, the Black Templars found the STTC for making Crusader pattern Land Raiders. That's why they were sort of synonymous with them for a while, and then obviously everyone else got to play with them as well. But the I think it was the Centurions, when they came out again, it was like, where the hell did these come from? But yeah, they're a model company, they're a toy company, they have to build their models, and yeah, we've got to buy them. So that's why they get like the weird stuff, get all the cool rules, like those little doom buggy things. But yeah, so these are actually, you know, they're so small. Oh dear. Well, I just wish it was like a 2p piece or something. Just put by them, see how tiny they are. But they are so small, but they are really, really cool. I'm going to actually take a picture, if I can. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I can't post this in the YouTube, but this is for my own personal collection of small micro knights. I'll tweet it or something. But yeah, these are really, really nice little kits. I'm not gonna lie, but it's actually gone quite well building these things. And yes, as I've said already in the stream, they you know, you're paying a premium for Forge World. You always have been. You always will be. It's so cute. Oh dear. But yeah, they are so nice. You're definitely going to have to be careful with your paints when painting these little buggers, because they are going to be tricky. Actually, it probably won't be too bad. So you just make sure you get them cleaned up. So as we've discovered this evening, through not only myself's activities, but Fiora's earlier on saying about how they stuck their fingers when trying to put the stabilizers on. And I've just noticed there's another bit I've missed. But yeah, that's the easy part. Just getting those bits on the cables taken care of. Just a very small pin vise drill bit to take care of that. It's not as bad as the other day, Just about finished my first one. Had to sort kids. That's fair enough. Lee, the more I start to understand the concept of Titans, then I have to ask, how many Titans do you have and how many knights do you have? Toffee, you've been joining us since like near the start, since I started all this bloody thing. You should know how many knights and Titans I have. So for those who don't know, so Titans, we're up to 107 Titans. So I've got another iconoclast to build, and I recently procured from a friend of mine who's basically got a huge mountain of shame, and he said, look, I'd rather sell these to you and you actually do something with them than me have them sitting in boxes. So I managed to pick up a precept box and 2 boxes of Warhounds. Yes. So there's 107 that are built and painted. So that's the numbers I only generally mention are painted, finished Knights and Titans. On the Knights side of things, so this one, focus, come on, focus. Focus. Damn you, focus. So this one was my 152nd night. And basically, I have not been sort of investing in other hobbies as such. All I've been doing for the last couple of years is focusing on AT. So all hobby funds go towards this. All birthday presents go towards this. All Christmas presents go towards this. And any work bonus I may get, guess what? It goes towards this. So I will say with this particular Asterius chap, now these plates here, actually I'll just put that down and get this out because that was focused better last time. So come on, give me some focus, give me some love in focus. There you go. Right, so on my first one, which I've done for Veroni, I spent ages getting all the shim out of these. On this one, I didn't bother. So that's basically wash that's all in there. I can add more washing to give it a little bit more darkness, but to be honest, at a glance, you're not going to notice it. You're not going to see anything underneath the detail. So if you do one of these guys, don't waste your life because you've got four sides twice. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got 7 slots, so 14 slots per side. So you've got 56 slots to gouge out with a hobby knife. It's not worth it. It really isn't, because the one that I did spend all the time gouging out and sanding down and everything like that, when I went over with the wash just pulled in it anyway. So you just got wash windows. So there's no real... Don't bother. Do not waste your life on those. Yeah, the little Volkites are pretty cool. The real pain with this was the Volkites and the cable that connects it to the body, because that's a separate piece. And you want to get it into position, and it's a pain. It really was. It was the worst part on this kit. But so I gave this one for House Divine. because I like my house divine, and I thought the purple and the pinks would look pretty cool. And like I do with Mechanicum Knight, so we'll just keep that metallic look there. I know that I've seen some of the ones that have been painted have got, they've gone with colours on them, but I like to keep my Mechanicus ones, you know that they're Mechanicus one, so yeah, that's that little doozy with his little ugly face. Yeah, it was totally Rob Walters with his 40k scale one. It's the first time I actually liked the Asterius. It's the only one I don't possess in 40k scale, because I was always put off by the arms and the look. If it was like a Porphyrion with these weapons, I would have had one. But it was just something about the look, the gait it had, that just, it didn't float my boat. But it's sort of grown on me. These won't grow on it. Look at the size of it. It's tiny. I do apologise. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I can't help myself. It's just so ridiculous. Yeah, we watched Saturday Night Reaver, and he was just laughing and choking to death. But yeah, as I said, these Forge World, like, again, that £40 to me is not it's not value. I think that it should have been more towards the £30 mark at the most, because you can get 2 Porphyrions. And if you want to sell models, you've got to price them reasonably. You can't go too bulk. I know they're a company, and yes, they do put a lot of work into the design and everything, and miniaturization or debickination or whatever they want to call it. So yeah, I have asked for one for Christmas, so I'm going to put that with House Caesarian, because I think they deserve it. But yeah, I'm not going to go on the costing side of things. They are what they are, but you see what you can get, and they are really cool. They're great little models, and I really can't wait to actually get some on the actual tabletop and kill something with those heavy conversion beamers. And you paint them. Oh, thank you very much, Toppy Trop. Love the model, but yeah, the cables are a pain. Yes, they're just such a pain. Similar to the 28mm one, also the pain to cut the cable. Well, there you go. It's nice to see they've kept consistency between scale sizes. On the plus side, guns will fit into the arm mounts without glue, so easy to post and then remove for painting. Yes, that's true, because they do sort of. I can't remember if I actually glued that one back in. I might have. I think I did. Yeah, I think I glued them back in. Where is the one for the best of the night houses in either blue or red? The House Tyrannus guys. They're not here anymore. To be honest, I haven't. Last time I've painted anything Tyrannus was when they brought out the Castigators and Archeron kits, because they were added to my army, which some are red, some are blue, as the fluff dictates in the Defense of Riser, because obviously, a lot of the Tyrannus Owners Club had painted their knights in red, as was dictated by Sir Duncan of Rhodes when he's done his very first paint tutorial video for Games Workshop. And it was a shock, because most people were expecting them to be blue, but again, they stick with the fluff, or the new fluff, or the reinvented fluff. because obviously in Mechanicum, the Knights of Tyrannus are blue with silver. I'm not changing it. They are blue with silver. And then obviously after everything goes off, they do sort of become more associated with the Mechanicum, or Mechanicus, as it was at the time that they changed over. So yeah, having blue and red Tyrannus is acceptable in my opinion, even within banners, different variations, because it was down to each scion. They could choose who they wanted to, you know. They started painting their knight suits red in tribute to the Forge Worlds that have helped keep them alive during the heresy. And then you had, which I personally, not because I'm biased, but it's because I'm biased, in the story of the Battle for Endeavour, which was one of the main forged cities on Riser, where House Tyrannus and House Sephora, who is the fourth Martian house, which doesn't get talked about that much. There was 300 knights between the surviving those two houses, and Endeavour had been captured. It'd already been sort of battered a bit, and the traitors were already in there. And there was a counter-attack. Legio Osidax, the cockatrices, were there with these 300 knights, and the knights went for it. The Titans held back, but those knights went streaming across the battlefields into an enemy who were entrenched in, you know, although there was like parts of the wall was destroyed, which is where the knights were heading to. And the Titans were having a field day. Oh, look, let's shoot all these knights and all that. But because of the daring, the heroism of the knight scions of both houses, the High Princeps, Princeps Majoris, in charge of Legio Osidax, was actually put to shame, and they went, "This is wrong. We should be walking," and so they did. So whilst Mortis and the Gore Crows were going, "Hey, look, it's like fish in a barrel. Shoot, shoot, shoot," the Osidax were following up behind and started targeting the Titans. So as we were discussing earlier on, you know, when you got to pick your enemies, they was picking on the Knights, and then the Titans following up behind them were picking on the Titans, and that's when the things started to go wrong for the traitors, and they started taking damage and stuff, and then they got, oh, who do we target? And that bought time for the surviving, because it was only about 60 or 70 knights made it to Endeavour, the wall. But once they got into Endeavour, you're in an urban environment where being big, cumbersome Titan does not really help you when you've got nippy little knights running around, stabbing you in the arse with their long, pointy lances and stuff. And the first Titan to fall was a Legio Mortis Reaver Titan, I think. And it was a Castigator from House Tyrannus. It just come round and just stabbed it to buggery, and it died. But yeah, so that was a glorious day. It was proper sort of Charge of the Light Brigade type thing, but then having Titans following up behind would have been, you know, back in those days, if you had the Light Brigade charging in, cannons to the left of them, cannons to the right of them, cannons in front of them, and they're, you know, taking the casualties, but then you've got a whole host of Titans coming up behind the Light Brigade. Totally different story. Oh, thank you very much, Sophus. Thank you. Toffee, I blame you because you have given me a high standard and I want to keep up to. Well, you do it. Lethal asks, have you got a War Master to hand for size compatible Armigers? You know what? It's not to hand, but I need to just nip to the house. So, and I know my iconoclast is standing there. So just hang on 2 seconds. All right, it'll be more 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds. So we'll put that there, and I'm going to go and quickly grab the iconoclast. So brace yourself, I'll be back in a sec. Wow, that is cold outside. Right. Crimson! Right. Let's do some manoeuvring. Now, let's throw in Questorus as well, just for funsies. So keep it a house divine. Now, I know this is not very entertaining, but I wanted to arrange this before showing. Sorry, that's my legs. Yeah, so there you go. That's an interesting comparison to height and everything. Teeny tiny. Oh, hello, hello, Luke. Sorry, I'm dying now. I'm sorry. This is just so funny. I wish I had some other Titans with me now. So yes, so you got your tiny guys. You got your slightly bigger guys. You got your chunky boy 3000, and then you got your turbo max daddy slasher grabber. But yeah, oh my god, that is just so funny. I'm seriously going to die here. I'm honestly, that is just. I'm going to grab a picture if I can. Can I get? No, yep. So, picture time. It doesn't keep up to his shin. Look how tiny. Let's go in closer. That is. Oh dear. Oh my god. Oh. Look at it. Oh, honestly, people, you are killing me. I'm killing myself. I know it's not my fault. How can you make this suggestion? Oh, yeah, I don't know what you've come into. I'm choking to death here. This is me slowly dying, and oh look, he's dead. But yes, so we've established that they are little fellows. They are teeny tiny little chappies. They're as cute as buggery. They really are. They're just so cute. But they are. Look. That warhound head is just looking at that thing, thinking, "You are so small," and he's being squashed into the ground. Oh dear! Oh my gosh! That's 10 scale difference. So we can't even. I'm trying to. I wonder if I can stack them on the. No! Stop being stupidly. No. But yeah. Oh. Just get. Look how. imagine actually having a game with these. Look, so as I was saying earlier on, you could get 9 around the base of a Warlord, War Master, probably even a Reaver as well, because you got 3 there and you got loads of space. And if they were all armed with melter guns on top, so within 3 inches, that's 9 instant hits within the shields. How did a melter gun see actually? So each knight with a melter gun upgrade can target an enemy unit within 3 inches. That unit suffers a D8 hit. So I'm assuming you still have to roll for location. I don't think you can just choose a location with that, because I know that some people, I've seen somewhere they were saying, "Oh yeah, no, you just choose where you want." But that's a bit, that makes that super powerful for a 10-point upgrade. That obviously, yeah, you got to get up close, but if you're up close and you can just go, yeah, I'm shooting its foot, I'm shooting its most vulnerable area, auto hitting. That's no, I still think you got to roll the location. Obviously, if they're all firing at the same time, then maybe just one location. I wouldn't do it as one, like individual for each one. What would you do? Would you? So you've got 9 and you're rolling location. Do you roll for each one individually, or do you just put all 9 auto hits into one location? Which I know, obviously, if you're hitting on a weapon, yeah, it's wasted. But if you're hitting on a body, that's gonna sting, especially the ones around the back. Yes. Now I need to definitely get some. What is it the size thing? You know, if we look, I'm trying to get that sort of look at the size of that thing. That is just monstrous, and that is what Titanic is all about. You know, these small guys. Yeah, that would be an epic game. Having us like one group of them just going up against that. It's just like, that would be interesting, because obviously the only ranged weapons they've got was the shoulder mounts and the top cannon, the Gatling cannon, which that won't be able to target them within its shadow. So yeah, so the only things they're going to be hitting is whatever weapons they've got there. Now, obviously, if they've got plasma blast guns, they're going to be they're probably going to get mincemeated quite easily. But then again, it depends on the dice. He could actually take damage from Raptor from that. That's just. I feel quite emotional now. We've seen so much today. We've seen. It's the same way. So we check out the decal work there for the House Divine decal. It's not a House Divine decal. It's the House Cold Shroud. So basically, I use a left-facing eagle, and I cut. Actually, a decal sheet. I might have a decal sheet. He says, but then again, I don't think I have. Yeah. So when you got the griffin type thing, I cut at an angle, do the top section, and then the bottom bit there is actually one of the pincers off of Malanax. So I just put that in there. So it's because the symbol is a hawk grabbing a snake. So that's what I did, and it works. So there. I didn't bother with this one because I just thought, no, it can't be asked. You know who it is because of the coloration. Look, see, it's one of these dudes. They're all the same colour. And that is a gallant, just going with the missiles on the top and the little close combat weapons. Because they're going to draw a lot of attention on a battlefield. So let's put that back up. Look at, head down, dude. Look how tiny he is. It's a long way down. I apologise if you suffer from vertigo. Look how far. Oh dear. Roll per banner would be fair if you have 9. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's either. You know, you've got. You know, if you're rolling individually, then you've got more chance of hitting a lot more areas they might not damage, but then they might do. Depends on how damaged the Titan is. How is the back? You could always fit one of these guys on the gantry. Yeah. You're checking out his butt. There you go, his little butt gun. Pew, pew, pew. Can't see it. There you go. Focused. But yeah. So it's just too big for manhandling. But I did magnetise this one. So I just drilled through 3x2, 3mm drill bit, and then just stuck the magnets in the end. So we'll have to convert my other ones to do that. As some of you already know, I actually stuck the arms in place on this one because I thought, well, there's no point in swapping out because you can't, because they're different Titans. Technically, they're different Titans. They're the same class, but they're different from what I've been told. Don't squash the little ones. It's really hard not to squash the little one. Look how small. Even a Chunky Boy 3000 is like, you know, that profile. Look, it's like his dad taking the kids out. They're taking them out. Oh dear, that's just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. And I'm gonna have to take a picture of that as well because it is just bonkers. I'm sorry, but it is. I'm not sorry, really. That is just craziness. Things we do, honestly. You just provided, as I say, literally, I reckon last half an hour has just been me laughing at how small and cute these little bloody things are. But yeah, I do like them. I'm not gonna lie, I do like them. As crazy as they are. And I think, I say, luckily, I say decent camera helps. So obviously you've been seeing these in glorious 4K technology, so you can actually see the detail that I can see. And you can actually get the real sort of appreciation of the work that has gone into these little chaps. It's just, say, my mate Mike, when he learned that there was like, it's a 10-piece kit, and he just, oh, that's me out. I'm not building anything that's 10 pieces of that size. But for the discerning gamer, not even that. They're a fun purchase. I'm sorry, but they are. Seriously, it would have been better if they were A, cheaper, and B, maybe plastic. Because if you've got to have big units, and I roughly worked out, like, to have a full lance, so a three full strength banners of 9, so that's 27 of these dudes, is £288 to get a full lance. But that's dependent upon, well, no, not technically. If you were having, you'd have to go all Helverines. All Helverines and Warglaves. So you're buying 9 packs because you need to get 1 banner of 9 Helverines because you only get 1 in a thing. And then you've got 2 banners of Warglaves. So yeah, it's £288 for a full lance, 3 banners at full strength, which, as I say, it's a lot, especially because they're so small and cute. Oh dear, this has been hilarious. How many can you get on the base? Because obviously the base, they wouldn't be hampered with walking across the base like that. And it's like a mama penguin with her chicks on her feet. She was wandering out. Sorry, I got to stop. Handheld cameras, yeah, doesn't work when you're laughing. But yeah, no. They're so nice, so cute. But yes, so verdict after working on these little things. Yeah, I like them. They are cool little kits. As I said, I can understand why they cost what they cost, because the detail on them is really, really impressive. Yeah, good night, Toffee. Thanks for joining us, buddy. I'll see you next week, hopefully. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Kirill, right? Because that. Now you're starting me off now, Kirill. When the Porphyrion was coming out, because obviously I'd seen the preview from the year before, the Weekender, when they had the small version and they upscaled it, like they did with the first AT Warlord Titan. It was smaller, and then they upscaled it and made it into plastic. But with the Porphyrion, I thought, because of the size of it, I thought that it would have been, because it was still smaller than a Warhound, and a Warhound's body was around about, at the time, about 270, I think. So I thought best price would have been about 250. Mac price about 280 for the size and what it is, basically. And then they released it and it came in at 320. And I just thought, well, come on, you know. And at the time, it was literally, for an extra £20 more, you could have a fully kitted out Warhound. So you've got £320 to spend. You would, seriously, people would just go, well, I'd rather spend the extra 20 quid and get a Warhound, because it's a different model, it's a different Titan altogether, but it's a Warhound. And the Porphyrion is a Porphyrion. There's a huge difference between them, like the weapons as well. You know, the Magna lasers on there, yes, they do blast, template, blah blah blah, but they're only strength 10. They're not a D weapon. Whereas you can, you know, the old Make Friends special edition build on Warhounds, which was the twin turbo lasers, which were doing D back in the day, and it was all about the D. Yeah, Porphyrion, yes, very nice, but you want D weapons. So yeah, when you've got a choice like that, sales are going to be affected. It really needed to be cheaper. at release. If they'd made it, as I said, somewhere between, like, even at sort of 280, that's still going to make it, say, well, that's £60 difference, and that's probably something that would swing you more than £20 difference. You know, obviously, if it went in with my low estimation of 250, then yeah, they would have definitely sold more. Yeah, disco. What? Yeah, basically anything with lots of lasers is disco. But unless you're talking Reaver Titans, because the original Disco Reaver was Iracundus, and that was purely because it was a sound speaker and playing music whilst in battle. So that's what I call the original Disco Reaver. But then, obviously, those in the know, in the games and all that sort of stuff, doing Disco Reavers at being, turbo lasers. Yeah. Or say, having twin turbo laser warhounds was like, oh, you got a twin turbo laser, you're just here to kill titans. Well, yeah, that's what warhounds meant to do. Kill bigger things. Or smaller things. But yeah, it's you really do sometimes scratch your head that, yes, they will sell stuff at certain prices. Like Warlords, sorry, when they came out, it's like, wow, that is a lot of money, but then it is a lot of kit that you're getting there, and people bought it, people invested, people went for it. Yes, I think we've all would have preferred it to be cheaper. But the same is like when they have something in existence, such as a Warhound, and you bring out a model, and it's a snip. It's nothing. It's basically a couple of pints cost difference. Then you're going to sell more of one model than the new one you just spent all your time developing and making molds for. And you want to sell stuff. Do you want to sell one at full price, or do you want to sell two at a slightly reduced price? Technically, if you're paying 500 for two, would you want to sell one at 320? Because most people aren't going to buy two at 640. That's how I see it. And yeah, it should have been cheaper. But that's my moan about Porphyrions. Most people moan about the fact that they're like broken as hell, as they say in AT. But they are just replicating the rules from the big one, which it does have blast templates. We all know what I suggested. Just remove the double hits. That would have been an easy fix. 8 shots, strength 8 coming out of those things is quite terrifying, and especially when the points cost is so similar to cheaper than Warhounds were. So people were always going to go for them over Warhounds. And again, it just shows you if the points cost can influence something, then other things can influence it as well. So, right. So I think I'm going to call it a night because, as you say, I'm still a bit croaky. Been talking a lot, been choking a lot. I'm getting colder now, even with the heater on full blast. I'm not going to survive, and unfortunately, I don't want to get pneumonia. So I will call it there. But it has been an awesome evening of modelling and hobbying, and I've actually let go. I just realised it's got a little standy bit on the bottom of the camera. But yeah, it's been a really fun live stream tonight, and I would like to thank you all for coming to hang out. It's been really, really great, and seeing you guys join us. I know it's a little bit earlier, but as you can understand, I'm not in the 100%, so I've still got work tomorrow as well. No rest for the wicked. But yeah, so next week, be back to normal on the Artist Empires. I'll stream on Wednesday nights. and then back here again next Saturday. So I might be painting these guys. I might even paint them during the week if I'm lucky, if I've got the time. Maybe build the other dudes, or maybe do an iconoclast, or I don't know. I'll be doing something, and hopefully you'll be here joining us to have a chat and to hang out whilst hobbying. So thank you all again, and take care of yourselves until next week. Adios, amigos. Take it easy. Bye.